Thanks so much for your consideration and taking the time to watch this. I promise you will walk away learning something of value when it comes to selling your home and one of your largest assets and how important that is when selling your home. I'm Jamie with Menoskani Homes and eXp Realty, and not many people interview agents. In fact, about 80% of people just go with the first person they talk to. So I'm hoping to provide some insight, at least if you do decide to interview, insight as to what questions to be asking agents and what answers you should be looking for when it comes to a successful home sale. All right, so I'm going to share my screen here. So I always tell people the number one thing to ask anyone you're interviewing is, what is your marketing plan? Oh, several of my stats are being pulled from this buyer and seller report put out by the National Association of Realtors each fall, among some other resources that I pull from as well. But I pulled data to make marketing decisions and show you and show sellers why I market the way that I do. Okay, so you're in the market to sell your house, which means we want people finding your house. And this chart is showing how people are looking at homes these days and what they're using. So you can see how many people are looking online using mobile or tablet devices, along with online sites that utilize video. In addition, reports say that buyers typically search for about 10 weeks, looking at a median of 5 homes, and 4 of the 5 were found via an online source initially, and that's how they viewed them. Nearly all buyers at 96%, which I'll say over and over again in this presentation, go to online resources to start looking for their home. This graph shows where the buyer was exposed to the home that they ended up purchasing. So you can see that the internet far outperforms other marketing tactics, especially open houses, that show only a 4% conversion as the initial way the buyer found the house that they ended up buying. So if this is something a seller does want, I absolutely will do an open house. I just don't necessarily recommend it as a major attraction source due to the data. Plus, in more recent years, there has been further worry or fear of the home being open and the safety concerns that that can present to people. And quite frankly, many times it's just neighbors and looky-loos, we call them, that aren't very serious buyers or even buyers at all anyways, and they're just walking through your home. And to pair with where buyers are looking, this on the flip side shows methods that real estate agents are using to market properties that they have listed. So we just went over how only 4% of buyers report an open house as how they found their home, yet 40% of agents are still using open houses as a main marketing tactic. Another highlighted stat that I like to point out here is how only 10% of agents are utilizing video. And this is important because studies show that landing pages with video show an average of 88% longer time spent on the online page, making it 800% more likely to convert than an item on a page without video. And we'll go over this next one a little later, but you see under the open house statistic that only 17% of agents use social media as a marketing platform, yet 90% of the US, which is over 300 million people, are on social media platforms. But again, only 17% of agents are utilizing it. So we'll talk about that a little bit later, but all in all, you want to be where people are. So first and foremost, being online, again, is an absolute must, but there are several different ways to be showing up online. So I'll be covering different ways that I do this and how I syndicate all over the web, enhancing the power that being online provides when it comes to a home sale, since it will be giving your property mass exposure without needing all the foot traffic actually physically in your home. So this is the difference of being seen what seems like everywhere to people versus a simple sign in the front yard or an open house over the weekend. Now I'm doing the traditional things still too, like the sign, of course, and the MLS. And by the way, the MLS automatically disperses out to the third-party sites such as Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, those types of things. So those are absolutely the bare minimum an agent can be doing, and very, very standard. So I'm doing those things, of course, but I'm doing so much more than that. Things like QR codes, landing pages, funnels, creating and building out funnels, pixeling, ad marketing campaigns, the pixeling to retarget, create retargeting ad campaigns, things like postcards, lots of additional things going on for me above and beyond inputting it on the MLS and putting a sign in the front yard. And now I'm doing all these things again because I know how important it is. 96% of buyers start online, so I want to be where those buyers are. And then the stats show that 55% of buyers end up setting up an appointment to walk through a home that they saw online. So I'm placing homes everywhere on the web, spending ad money, pixeling, all those things I just listed in order to get the most eyes on your property, so the number of people setting up an appointment increases. Now, of course, we don't want people just walking through your house to walk through your house. We want someone to buy your house. But that's again why being online is important, because stats show that 50% of people end up purchasing a house that they first saw online and then walk through. So we know that almost everybody is jumping online to start looking for their next home purchase, because we go to the internet for everything these days. So that's probably not a huge surprise. But what's also important is more and more people are using social media platforms as their online source. As of 2023, 90% of Americans are now on social media and utilizing more than one platform even. So Facebook is definitely still the leading marketing platform. So I'm heavily implementing and utilizing Facebook among a couple others. So this is how I like to show how I'm different and not just like any other agent out there. We're living in a digital world and people are shopping online for everything, and shopping for their home is no different when they're starting out. But despite this, shockingly, only 17% of agents use social media to market the properties that they have listed. But what's even more important to know is less than 1% are using social media correctly. By correctly, I mean actually setting up a business account and ad accounts so that they can have all the behind scenes strategies working for their listings as well. Things like the ad campaigns, the pixeling, the retargeting campaigns. So why aren't all agents doing this? Probably because it takes a lot of time to learn the stuff or lots of money to speed track mastering it. Trust me, I know, because I've done both. I've spent lots of money to learn it quickly, and I still spend a lot of time continuing to keep up with it and continuing to have it mastered. So the sad truth is several other agents simply won't invest the time or money to do so, but unfortunately it's costing their clients money because they could be missing out on bringing in the best potential buyer that's willing to give the best terms in an offer to essentially, at the end of the day, reach the goals you're looking for. Facebook, again, is the leading social media platform used worldwide with 2.9 billion active monthly users. And about 75% of Facebook users also use YouTube, and 78% also use Instagram. So I focus heavily on these three platforms: Facebook, Instagram, and Google/YouTube. Google is the #1 search engine in the world, and they own YouTube. So when you're searching on Google, you've probably noticed that video is starting to pop up more and more at the top, since that's what people prefer when they want to learn something or consume information about anything they're searching for. So again, I always have video included in my services due to this knowledge, and I'm making sure to include effective search engine optimization, or SEO, strategies behind my marketing as well. This slide is also touching on how over the years organic reach has declined. 7.7% in 2018, down to 5.2% in 2020, and now as low as 1.1%, with how powerful these platforms have become for marketing strategies. So this is why it's vital that your realtor is spending money on actual advertisements on these platforms. And this is exactly what I mean by only 1% of agents actually utilizing these social media platforms correctly. If your agent says, they post on their social media, it does not mean they're running ads. So make sure you ask and have them clarify exactly how they're using these platforms to ensure that they're doing it the right way, because you should be hearing more of the things that we've been discussing in these past slides. Okay, so I'll dive a little deeper on exactly how this is happening. Behind the scenes, I'm setting up the actual ad behind marketing your house. So it could be pictures. I always use video though, because it gets more engagement. So there'll be a video of your property with an actual advertisement set up behind the scenes for it. And I pay money to do this in order to get the best exposure for your property. So while this is going on, I'm creating audiences. So I already have several audiences set up from past things I've done. So audience, that's how they're created, based on past content and engagement with other properties I've listed, engagement on anything I've posted, freebies that I give out, community events that I post about. Anyone that has clicked on or engaged with my website, any of my social media platforms, or you can even target people that have clicked on house buying related content and create an audience for them. And then I can intentionally put your home in front of their eyes, again, seeking out actual buyers that would be interested in a house like yours. So I'm analyzing where they're coming from, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, my personal business website, and I can place the marketing everywhere. So this is what mass exposure is all about. So here's an example to actually help show what's going on. So that ad I just talked about that I posted would actually have a clickable link connected to it. And the moment someone clicks that link, it's bringing the buyer to your landing page that I've built out and set up to utilize as a marketing strategy. And this page is all about your property specifically. There's no other properties on it to distract the buyer away from yours. I have individual pages set up for each of my sellers. I also utilize QR codes, which are the scannable images such like this that you'll see. And this is right on the sign in your front yard. That I also use lights to be able to illuminate at night, giving your sign 24/7 visibility. It's on postcards, flyers, the brochures, anything on print marketing that I create. And again, anything online has that clickable link. But both versions, both sources are bringing buyers directly to your specific landing page. Now what's going on at the same time is I have what's called a pixel set up so that I know they've visited this page, and now I've basically captured them in an audience and have the ability to also retarget to them, placing it in front of them again and again so that they have the chance to see your home numerous times. Your landing page also, of course, includes video, pictures, any features to point out, anything to highlight about your property. And all this helps to have buyers be spending more time on your page and engaging with your home specifically. So maybe you know some of these things, or maybe that all sounds a little complicated, but all in all, there's kind of a lot going on in the background. But doing these types of things gets results such as this. This is a house that I listed in Minnesota, and this ad particularly got over 14 hours of watch time. Over 24,000 people viewed this home online, and this was all just in one weekend. Now, I promise you 24,000 people won't be coming through an open house if I were to host one, nor would you probably want that to happen. But an ad like this does get you those results with online views, presenting the most eyes on your property online. And that way we're able to attract the best potential buyer for your house that will want to come in person and set up a private showing with good intentions right off the bat, and be willing to write in the best terms when it comes to submitting an offer. Another good stat to note is 44% of people said that they look into a home because their neighbor or friend told them about the house being for sale. So whether they're seeing it online and sharing it, or saw something in print and sharing it, but as an agent, it's important to know this so that you can act on it via marketing strategies and start implementing it into your marketing plan for your sellers. So I, of course, am doing that. So you already know important online strategies that I'm using, but I also utilize several print marketing strategies such as every door direct mailers, mailing out high quality postcards to your postal code and surrounding areas, alerting the local community about it as well. And again, that QR code is printed right onto anything with print marketing. So someone can simply scan it and it brings them right to your specific landing page again. I'm also delivering letters to your specific neighborhood. I'm creating very nice, high quality 4+ page print brochures, and those go right inside your home for when buyers physically come and walk through your property. They're able to take one of those with them so that they can keep your property top of mind. I'm also doing things like providing reports on community features as well. So things like places to eat, nearby conveniences, school information and school ratings, and any outdoor activities and amenities that might be special to your area as well. I'm of course doing professional photos and video. Research supports homes sell more quickly and for more money by doing this. So I'm definitely taking care of that in my services for sellers as well. Here's an example of the same house side by side, the left being the prior agent's listing of the home compared to the ones I provided on the right. Now, the prior photos weren't terrible. I have seen much, much worse. Photos being taken on cell phones, photos being presented sideways, people in the mirrors, you name it. There's some goofy stuff that's been put out on the World Wide Web, but you can see the difference here, even with better lighting and some different angles, slightly different angles, how it looks better on the right in this side-by-side comparison. I'm also doing things like making sure buyers that have submitted an offer on your property are the real deal and actually qualified. You wouldn't want to get too excited about an offer from a buyer that can't actually buy your house, or even worse, be accepting their offer and 3 weeks in finding out they're not qualified to buy your house. And now you've just wasted 3 weeks of precious time, marketing time, and we have to reactivate it on the market, kind of giving a house that stigma and buyers the impression of, oh, what's wrong with it? Did something happen during inspection? Just kind of those things that can go through buyers' minds when a house comes back on the market. So to prevent to the best of my ability dealing with that, I'm calling lenders and making sure and verifying with the lender, personally that a buyer is indeed qualified to purchase the home with the terms that they've written in the offer. I also have you as a seller provide some information so that I can best market your property, highlighting what you've loved most about it, any particular care you've provided to it, updates you've done, anything along those lines. All these things matter and help attract buyers and get them further interested in your house for themselves. All right, so I know that can kind of be a lot. Maybe you knew a lot of these things. Maybe it's all entirely new and a lot to wrap your mind around, but I like to send this out so sellers at least know what can be done for their property in today's marketing world. The MLS and a sign in your yard is the bare minimum to be doing for sellers these days with all the technology that exists out there. So when you're looking into agents, just make sure you're asking them how they plan to market your property, because they should easily be able to answer this. It's literally their job to market and sell your property. So if you're not hearing some of the specific strategies that I went over in this presentation that give you the mass online exposure, then you could be leaving money on the table, and you most likely are, simply by having missed out on the best buyer for your property. And that goes for any goal you have. If your goal is the largest return on investment, if you want the most money possible for your property, that takes mass exposure, because you want to be hitting the people that are able to provide that. If you need the shortest amount of time, if you're like, I need to potentially be out of this property in 2 weeks, if that was your situation, you want mass exposure to hit buyers that can provide that in their offer. So you could get 3 very different offers presented at the table, and it could be the the best price you want. It could be the best timeline you want. Whatever your goals are, by mass exposure to your property, you're more likely to be hitting the marks you need to with offers to create a successful home sale in your situation for what your needs are. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. All right, so I'd of course love to be considered and partnering with you and your home sale, and hopefully you won't have to look any further. But in the event you do, hopefully this was at least helpful in knowing what to look for and what marketing capabilities actually do exist out there. There's a lot going on and it's a lot to keep up with, but it can be done, and there are a select few agents doing it, and they're getting a lot better results for their sellers. So I hope you found value in this, and I look forward to hearing your feedback. Thanks so much. I super appreciate your time, and I hope to be hearing from you soon. Bye-bye.